Ladies and gentlemen, today I come before you sitting with righteous anger and unyielding frustration. We live in a world where politicians, the so-called custodians of our society, have shown a callous disregard for the plight of the poor. It is a despicable state of affairs that demands our collective outrage and unwavering call to action. How can we accept a reality where those who claim to represent us turn a blind eye to the struggles of the marginalized? They sit atop their ivory towers, insulated from the harsh realities of poverty by our taxes, while our brothers and sisters languish in destitution. It is an abomination, a stark testament to their moral bankruptcy and utter lack of empathy. Their indifference is an affront to our shared humanity. They amass wealth and power, oblivious to the suffering that pervades our society. Meanwhile, the poor are left to fend for themselves, their pleas for help falling on deaf ears. It is a disgraceful betrayal, a blatant disregard for the very principles of justice and compassion that should guide our leaders. But enough is enough. It is time for us to rise, to shake off the shackles of complacency and demand change. We must harness the power of our collective voice, for it is through unity that we can hold these politicians accountable for their negligence. We cannot afford to remain silent witnesses to the erosion of our societal fabric. Let us take to the streets, the halls of power, and the corridors of justice, demanding justice for the poor. We must challenge the systemic inequalities that perpetuate their suffering. We must demand policies that uplift the marginalized, that bridge the gap between the haves and the have-nots. The time for action is now. But our fight cannot end with protests and demonstrations alone. We must engage in political process, ensuring that our voices are heard and at the ballot box. We must support candidates who champion the cause of the poor, who understand the urgency of their plight. It is our duty to elect leaders who genuinely care, who will fight tirelessly to dismantle the barriers that perpetuate poverty. Together we can create a society where no one is left behind, where compassion and solidarity reign supreme. It will not be an easy journey, for the forces of indifference and greed are formidable. But our anger, fueled by our unwavering belief in justice, will be our guiding light. Let us channel our anger into action, transforming it into a force for positive change. We owe it to the poor, to ourselves, and to the future generations. The time has come to reclaim our power, to demand the politicians recognize their duty to the least fortunate amongst us. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, quote, "Be the change that you wish to see in the world," end quote. Let us be the catalyst of a transformative movement that brings care and dignity to the lives of the poor. Together, we can build a society where no one is forgotten and every person's potential is nurtured and celebrated. Thank you. We are the revolution.